But then goodwill, is it enough to deal with the issue at Bawku? Looking at the security situation, what immediate steps you propose he implements to help curb and de-escalate tensions in the area?
I wouldn't be naive. I'm not oblivious of the reality of the complexity of Bawku. It's not an easy situation. And, you know, and it requires a lot of, you know, commitment and investing time and resources. So first of all, you need to build, you know, a kind of coalition of people who would engage stakeholders. You need to begin. Peace is, you know, come about, you know, and the first step is to begin to talk to people and talk to all these key stakeholders, you know, to map out a new strategy and a new approach. And I think that the president is surrounded by a lot of very well-driven experts in terms of security. A lot of them are old security chiefs in this place who's been around for the last 30, 40 years. And they would, you know, come together and propose what kind of strategy would work this time. But of course, it would involve all stakeholders, including civil society, the religious community, and traditional leadership. What I see now is that it's a chieftaincy conflict that has transformed into different levels of conflicts. People are engaged in attacks, especially young people, engaging revenge attacks against each other, settling scores, and people expanding that to include, you know, plain situations of armed robbery and criminality. And so the real cause of that conflict has been lost over time. I mean, the transformation of the conflict include all these other elements. And so all of those will be put, you know, on the table in terms of how you do address the immediate issues, you know, before you look at the key driving factors of the conflict. We see on social media used to provoke violence, to incite hatred, to incite anger amongst people, which has nothing at all to do with the original cause of the conflict. We've seen situations where there's a terminology by cyber analysts called doxing, where people actually would make a situation of warning individuals using social media. We know you, we know where you are, we know what you've done and we'll come after you. And they actually do. And we've seen a lot of those happening on social media. And so all of those will be part of the discussion in terms of how we'll move forward with Bawku. But I expect that we would have a kind of committee or commission that, you know, set up to look at Bawku. Bawku is a very complex situation. And we would need a kind of committee headed by a very respected individual or, you know, statesman who has a goodwill and support of both parties, who would speak and they would listen, who would have the benefit of, you know, counselors who will guide the process in a way that would pointedly look towards a resolution of the conflict. And I think from my perspective and from our center, this is one of the ways we think will be effective in addressing the conflict.